Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments, and I am here with one last wedding layout going along with all of the layouts that we've done so far using the devotion collection, which is fairly new, plus All My Love, plus some from Keep the Faith. So coordinating all of those because they are in line with the bride's colors that have been chosen, and because this is being made for a gift. So let me explain real quick what I have on my workspace today, so that you can get out the appropriate supplies if this is a layout that you want to do. So we are going to be using the border maker system from Creative Memories. I am using a retired punch for my design. This is the Eternal, or the, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but at any rate, these lines represent eternity, which is really cool. But if you have another punch that might be similar to this brand new one, that is the circle one. This one is currently in the catalog and available, so this would work for this project. Or if you have this one, which was similar to a chain link from a little while back, this one would certainly work. I'm sure you could come up with a couple others that would also work. I'm going to show you how those would work, or at least my intention is to remember to show you a little later in the video how those would work if you wanted to do something different. I am going to be using the border maker system, so you'll get to see it in action. Also, so I have some navy cardstock, just some long pieces, because I'm going to be using that to punch some more of these borders. I also have another wood-based paper. So this white piece resembles a white wooden paneled wall, and since the bride and groom are having their reception in a barn that is white on the outside, highly appropriate for that adventure. These are for embellishing after we've got the bulk of our page put together, so I'm going to set those aside just real quick. And this is the paper we're going to use to mat our photos. So this is a relatively simple page, should go together pretty quickly, and let's get to it. All right, I'm going to just set these aside. First thing we're going to do is punch 4 more of these eternity borders out of the navy cardstock so that we have them as a backup. This is done using our silver shimmer paper, and I'm just worried that they're not going to show up very well on the white background that they're going to be up against. So we're going to cut some out of navy and shadow them so that they show up better. All right, so our paper holder for the border maker works like this. You pop out the paper guide and lock it into place. It pops into place. You lift up the blue arm and you take your cardstock. We're going to stick that into the guide until it hits this little bumper on this edge. And this cardstock, the navy cardstock, is just a hair longer than the guide. There is a little bit of a variance sometimes in the way the paper is cut, which we've just all learned to work with. Just make it flush on one end, and if it curls just a tiny bit on the other, that's okay. It'll all work out in the wash, as my mom used to say. All right, so we're going to fold our guide arm back. We've already loaded the cartridge into the punch holder, and we're going to slip the paper in here right into this opening so that we can punch. All right, so we're going to line this up. There's a notch here that lines up with the notch here and corresponding notches down the holder. And we're going to just go ahead and punch and slide it down into the notches on the holder. You can tell it's where it needs to be when it doesn't move back and forth. And we're just gonna punch And we're going to do 4 of these to highlight these 4 silver ones over here on the side that I've already punched. So I apologize because usually I do try to create the design that I'm doing along with you so you can follow along and do it. This time I already had these borders, these silver borders punched. So if you need to stop the video and punch those first so that you have already, that's fine. If you don't need the shadow that I'm creating, then just go ahead and punch your 4 borders along with me now and you'll be fine. 2, we need 2 more. Lift up the arm, sliding the paper till it's flush with that bumper. So just so that you are aware, you do not have to go from front to back when you use this border maker. You can turn it however is comfortable for you. If you're left-handed, you can turn it around and do it the opposite way if that makes you happy. You can do it from front to back towards you. You can do it horizontally across. It just depends on what's most comfortable for you. And I don't know if you've seen this trick done before, but my paper is a little bit short, so it's not going to get caught by the magnet that's under this arm to hold it steady. So I'm adding some sticky notes along it, and then the magnet will hold on to the sticky notes so that I can punch the remainder of this piece of cardstock. See how the arm holds the magnet or holds the sticky notes so that the paper stays where it needs to stay. I have found for me, this is the fastest way to punch a border is from my tummy outwards. But everyone is different. So if it works better for you another way, then it works better for you another way. All means. All right. So we are done with the border maker. I'm just going to set that aside. Clear my workspace off here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our 4 borders and we're going to, first I'm going to set all 4 of the navy ones out because they will go on the bottom. Then I'm going to take each one of these silver ones. Oh, the other thing I'm going to do is just double check because this, excuse me, sorry. This punch is slightly directional, meaning that these circles are not perfectly round. Ovals are not perfectly oval. So if I put my silver one on upside down, it will be really obvious. So that's another reason why I want to make sure that they're all facing the same way and that when I put my silver piece on, it is facing the right way. The same way as the base. Otherwise, the shadow is going to be all wonky and you don't want that. Okay, I'm just putting these on just so that I know they're going the right direction right now. Not really worried or concerned about making sure that the space is the same for all of them. Okay, so there are our 4 borders. I'm just going to move that piece and get it out of the way. Now I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive, and I'm going to just start with this one, and we're going to put them together. I'm going to Actually, you know what? I'm going to replace this cartridge because this cartridge is not behaving. So we're going to get a different one out. So that this will flow better. There we go. All right. So we're going to just run it over. Don't be afraid to run it right over your openings. You'll get minimal amounts of adhesive on your surface. Anything you do get on your surface, you can just rub right off. So it's really not even worth mentioning, except that I love that feature. So I mention it almost every single time. You're probably tired of hearing me say it, but I love having a clean workspace. I love not having my fingers be sticky because I used a product that got on my hands. So one of my favorite things about this adhesive, in addition to the fact that I can take something off when I put it on with repositionable adhesive, I can take it back off if I don't like it or if I need to adjust it for some reason. Now I'm just trying to make sure that the blue cardstock, the navy blue cardstock, is showing in an even space all along this border so that I don't have it wider on one end than the other, so that it's consistent with the other ones. And I have probably a little less than 1/8 of an inch of a shadow going on these, because you don't need a whole lot. You just need enough that it's going to outline the shape so we can see it. Otherwise, this silver would just disappear right into the white page. And then all that work is for nothing, right? Because you can't see any decorations. Okay. Wiping residual adhesive off of my page, off of my workspace. All right, so we are good to go. Now let's go ahead and bring in our base sheet and lay these out. So these are going to crisscross. And they're going to crisscross in such a way that the design complements itself. So I have because this design is not completely symmetrical, like if you use the circles, the circle border maker chain, then obviously your circles are going to be more inclined to match exactly. My diamonds line up fairly well with this pattern, so that's what I'm using as my point for them to overlap. All right, so this is the design that we're going to go ahead and glue down. And then after we have these glued down or adhered to the page, then we're going to put mats on this page, and this page will hold 4 photos. So those photos can either be in like a 4x4 size, and you can put one in each corner, or you can do a 4x6 and do 2 horizontal and 2 vertical, or you can do a 4x6 and a 4x4. There's lots of different options. And then your embellishment goes right here in the center. Unless you have this open, and then you can put other things maybe in there. But let's play with this for a little bit. Let's get this adhered, and then we'll be good to go. So I wanted to place this on my paper because of the fact that my design is kind of specific. I need these to be spaced a certain amount apart so that my diamonds lined up. So I'm using my repositionable adhesive again because I can rub it right off. And I am going ahead and just adhering the ends of my borders that I've created so that they don't shift. And I don't have to figure it all out again, right? So I'm just adjusting these just a little to make sure they're where I want them to be. And again, they're not going to be exact because a diamond going one direction is not going to be the same size as the diamond going the other direction, but they are as close as they can be. And that works for me right now. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and lift up this one that is the closest to the top. And I'm just going to add a little bit of repositionable adhesive along that line. Oops, I was a little bit off up here. But that's the great part about repositionable. You just rub it, it comes right off. Okay, so we can make sure that this is straight. Go ahead and stick it down. Then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Hoping that I am a little more accurate this time. Yeah, that looks better. Just a smidge. All right. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere down these two, and then we can go back and rub off any adhesive that is where it shouldn't be. Or you can wait and rub off the adhesive that shows after you've put anything else that you want to put on here. That way you maybe use less adhesive that way. Okay, I wasn't as careful with that one, so let me lift that one back up again. Let's adjust that one just a smidge. There we go. All right. Super. Okay. I know that I'm not going to have anything down here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that off, and then we'll wait and rub off the rest in a minute. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll get some mats cut. So grab your trimmer one more time, and we're going to cut 4 mats using this pretty diamond navy blue. All right, so our pictures are going to be 4x6, probably. So we're going to do, our mats are going to be, let's see, let's do a 4.5 inch by 6.5 inch mat. For our big ones, 4.5. So I'm just going to stack these. They're both 4.5. And now I'm going to pull my arm out on my trimmer, and we're going to measure these at 6.5 and trim those at 6.5. Then I'm also going to go ahead and cut another mat, another 2 mats that are 4.5 by 4.5. That way a 4x4 photo can go in. Inside these, and that'll be perfect. All right. Let's see how that looks. So if we put our mats in opposing corners, and our diamonds are going up and down, which is perfect. That's what we want. All right, now we're going to put an embellishment here in the center of this page. And again, I'm going to adhere these with my repositionable adhesive so that the bride can adjust them. She can turn these and make these horizontal, vertical if she needs to, whatever she'd like to do. So the only embellishment is going to be in this center square right here, so she can move these mats however she'd like. All right, so let's see. I was going to use this sticker right here, which says no longer 2 but 1 and has rings, but I'm worried that it's going to get lost because it's on the white background. So I was thinking that maybe I ought to put it, cut a square and put that in the center here. Maybe it's still a matter of, trying to decide. But if I put that there and then put this kind of at an angle across it, or even straight across it, then those rings will pop much better. They kind of get lost on the white background if I just do it like that. So I think that's what we're going to go with. Let me get my trimmer out so I can trim. Or, you know what, we've been using that the rust colored paper, and I have some rust colored paper. We could put it on the rust colored diamonds. You know what, I think I'm going to do that. And then we'll add a couple of roses. Just because since this is one page, it's going to obviously be going next to another page. And that other page is going to have some of this color or thereabouts on it. So let's see how big this is. 1.5 inches square. Okay, so 1.5. That's my 0 centering ruler. Kind of love that. That's a fun toy. Fun tool to have in my arsenal. So we're going to do a 1.5 by 1.5 square. Maybe what I ought to do is round those corners out just a little bit, so they're not so pointy. Let's try it. I've got more paper. If I don't like it, I can cut another one, right? I'm just going to round the corners on this. I'm not a huge corner rounder. I used to, some of my older albums, I rounded every corner of everything that was square. I don't really do that anymore. I like it rounder because of the roundness of the design that is surrounding this. So we're going to go with that. Let's put some adhesive on there. That's it up. Making sure my diamonds are going in the same direction as the diamonds in the blue paper. Provided that, you know, the people who eventually have this album want to keep it that way. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and pop up the sticker with some foam squares, of course, so that it sets itself up and looks awesome. Stick one right here on the end. Ooh, that one I can see just a little. I'm going to have to trim it. This one's going to go out here on this end. Let's see if I did better on. Okay, let me grab my scissors. Where are they? Here they are. Just going to trim this just a hair so that it's less obvious. There we go. And we'll go ahead and stick this down. I always feel like these little tabs stick to me all over the place as well. So I'm going to just kind of set it in the center and let the ribbons kind of be at a jaunty angle. Like so. Then we're going to use these two little roses that are of like coloring background, and we're going to pop them up as well. Just kind of set those off to the side. The larger one on the bottom because it's heavier looking than the smaller one, so it goes more to the bottom and the smaller one on top. Okay, let me grab my repositionable adhesive and we'll stick these down real quick so that they are good to go. Just gonna give it about 1/8 of an inch of a border around it where I can. Right, that one is done. And now, hopefully, let's see, we could put that one with the page that we did last time around and the last one that released. And it sort of goes, there's a little bit of the navy on this side, there's a little bit of the rest on this side, and the embellishments carry your eye from one page to the other. So those would work next to each other. You could even flip-flop them and do them this way, and that would be okay too. Since you have words, you wouldn't really want to turn these pages, but like I said, you can alter how the pictures are going and make them go different directions if you want to. So, all right. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this wedding series, and I'll be back soon with another video. So I hope that you catch that one too. And until then, I hope you keep creating. You have a great day.